little guy. Did you and your friends have fun? Oh, Chucky. Thank you. Maybe we should keep this in a safe place for now, okay?
What's the matter, Chucky? I don't know. I thought it was a really pretty picture.
Oh, no, Chucky. Everybody has some sort of person that they consider to be a maternal figure in their life. Whether it be your biological mother, an adoptive mother, a father even, or even an older best friend who always tries to look out for you. Regardless of gender, anyone could take on this role of nurturer. And what better way to thank these kind and caring souls than to have holidays that honor them like Mother's Day or Father's Day. And because it falls on the 5th month of the year, in today's video I want to look at 5 key characters that I believe are deserving of Mom of the Year awards. Badass characters that can balance the struggles of parenthood, their own lives, and protecting the innocent all at the same time. So without further ado, let's get into that sweet, sweet grub. Toriel should be a definite, obvious first pick for this list. She's a kind-natured and protective motherly figure to the main protagonist of Undertale. Toriel makes it her job to protect all young children that find themselves stuck in the ruins because of tragic events from her own past that sadly left her without 2 children. Toriel can be kind and nurturing, but also strict when needed be. She loves to cook, enjoys awful puns, and dreams of one day becoming a school teacher, which isn't really surprising considering how much she enjoys protecting and educating young minds. Because of previous tragic events, however, she cares so deeply for the safety of others that she's willing to sometimes put her own life at risk in order to protect the ones she loves. She just wants you to be safe, okay? I know at some point you're gonna get a bit of an odd vibe from her, but I assure you, please ignore this weird feeling. And please don't hurt this mama, because it's gonna hurt real bad. Now this pick might be a little bit questionable for some, seeing as how we don't really know the gender of Treecko right off the bat, nor do we see her offspring until the very end of the game. But if you can, let's try and maybe look at this at a different angle. In my opinion, I think Treecko serves as the perfect motherly figure to the main character, and there's a bunch of weird symbolism in the game that helps to cushion this idea. Treecko's relationship with the main character, Boy, could be seen as some kind of test of parenthood. Although her behavior in the beginning of the game is akin to that of an innocent, weary, and somewhat domesticated dog, Treecko undergoes a slew of behavioral changes and eventually becomes guardian to the main character. And although the context is skewed, when making this list I couldn't help but to remember that one flashback from the game where Treecko spits out the protagonist in a blue liquefied fetal sac. Kind of like some sort of weird childbirth interpretation. If anything, that scene supplements the idea of a growing maternal bond. A little spoiler heavy, but Treecko's main mission along with the other creatures was to harvest children from villages, fly them back to their world, and use them as human sacrifices. When Treecko's wounded and loses all memory of her only mission in life, through working together and trust building, she eventually forms a maternal bond with the human she stole. You know, the one she literally carried in her body, kind of like how a pregnant woman would bond with their child. Symbolism aside, Treecko becomes your protector and guardian as a strong bond between the both of you forms throughout the game. She shows this appreciation through her many assists in battle against the armored soldiers, and through her love and affection as she often nuzzles and rubs against you, calling out with loving whines, and will eventually turn to you to calm her down when she undergoes anxiety attacks after taking down different enemies.
My dearest Fariha, every mother hopes for a better life for her daughter. I was willing to fight and die for it.
Ana Amari is a badass mom from the game Overwatch. She watches over and stands as a motherly figure to those she cares deeply for. She's not only devoted to protecting her daughter Farah, but also her extended Overwatch family, so much to the degree that some younger agents on the team have referred to her as Mama Bear. It's difficult to get full insight on Ana's backstory unless you've either read the Overwatch comics or pieced together some of the information yourself through observing some of her brief back and forth character dialogues with other characters in the game, mainly the dialogue between herself and her daughter Farah. Ana's not only a motherly figure to her daughter, but as former second in command and being with the organization for over 10 years, she also stands as a motherly figure to her colleagues and other inexperienced and new agents. Ana understands that everyone she's looking out for also has their own families and people whom they wish to protect, and to honor the families of her comrades, she makes it her job to watch over everyone and protect them like a hawk. As one of their top-ranked snipers, she literally has her comrades' back, and her dedication to protecting the innocent and fighting for her loved ones is probably what had inspired Farah to also become a part of Overwatch. For her absence in Farah's life due to an unfortunate event that left Ana badly injured, causing her to fake her own death, Ana equipped her daughter with all of the necessary skills to help her bud into the trained fighter she is today. Not only that, but she left Farah with a ton of great qualities, being strong morals, camaraderie, love, and loyalty. Because Farah grew up watching her mother in combat, living a life akin to that of a military family, I think she was probably emotionally mature enough for there not to be any lasting bad blood between the two once Ana came back to her life, revealing herself to be alive. She decided to come out of hiding once the world was in crisis once more and needed heroes, and I think Farah viewed this act as admirable more than anything else.
Now introducing the barbarian, the beautiful, the most buxom sponsor of the history of Pandora, Mad Moxxi!
Mad Moxxi is a fiery livewire and a rad-ass mom from the Borderlands series. She's the owner of various bars across Pandora and has a reputation for being somewhat of a harlot due to the fact that she's had vast amounts of lovers and public affairs, and many find her to be lustful, alluring, sadistic, and absolutely dangerous. Despite the general public's perception of her, Mad Moxxi is at her core a compassionate, friendly, loving, and protective mother who will do all she can to ensure the safety of her children. You see, years ago, Mad Moxxi used to be a member of the Hodunk clan. The Hodunk clan is Pandora's post-apocalyptic version of moonshine drinking rednecks who enjoy nothing more than fast cars and senseless violence. Yeehaw! Through an act of love, Moxxi grabbed her children and disbanded from the clan, where she fled to Sanctuary after the group had decided to force Moxxi's daughter Ellie into the undesirable position of becoming the clan wife. Gross. As a result of Moxxi's close bond to her children, they've inherited many of her more favorable traits, like her selflessness, wit, charm, mechanical skills, and her ability to run a solid business. At first glance, you'd find it somewhat hard to believe she's the biological mother of both Scooter and Ellie, as they initially seem to have very little in common. They not only have very distinctly different ways of speaking, but they dress almost as if they aren't even from the same clan. Her children sport this country redneck bumpkin style from the tribe in which they came, but Moxxi has the appearance of a showgirl from a completely different era. On top of this, Moxxi sports a face of clown makeup, and her dialogue is constantly filled with some sort of sexual innuendo regardless of the subject. And many of us would see this as slightly absurd. A classy woman with tons of innuendos in every sentence that's borderline unrealistic, almost to the point that you'd think she was putting on some sort of an act. All topped off with the odd performance makeup. I mean, none of her kids look remotely like her, nor do they speak in the same fashion. Well, there's actually something much deeper to that. Because of Moxxi's bad blood with the Hodunk tribe and the presumed shame in her people, she made the decision to completely reinvent herself. She changed her accent, her style of dress, overall attitude, but behind this outward exterior to the people of Pandora, underneath it, she's still the same old fun-loving woman that grew up with redneck origins, and she seems to fully embrace this behind closed doors.
Bubbles and birds, bubbles and birds,
Hello? Moxxi!
Hey, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing in here?
Whoa! You look different, and you're covered in robot blood.
Damn it, I really don't like people seeing me out of character. The hell do you want?
Now, you know we do this all the time. With all of the amazing mamas we've talked about so far, I bet you guys are anxious to see who sits at number 1. But before we can do that, it's time to look at some honorable mentions. Other moms who could have totally made this list, but it's a top 5, so we had to shape off the edges.
What was the name of the ship she left on?
Toriel.
Find peace in the embrace of the goddess. My name is Samara, a servant of the Justicar Code.
Samara is an Asari-raced being from the Mass Effect series. She's a strong and honorable mother who's both dedicated and devoted to saving the lives of others and fighting for what's right. Operating under the utilitarian philosophy, she believes in fighting for the greater good and eliminating all threats to innocent creatures. Samara was in pursuit of her daughter Marinth for centuries, who was afflicted with the Ardit Yakshi virus at birth. Upon discovering Marinth's illness, Samara swore an oath to herself to bring an end to her daughter's reign of terror to protect all future innocents who may fall prey to her. What's an Ardit Yakshi? It's pretty much like being born with a deadly STD that makes you crazier and stronger with each new victim you're able to infect. It's a rare genetic condition found in the Asari people, where during the mating process, the Ardit Yakshi's nervous system completely overpowers and dominates that of her mates, causing brain hemorrhaging and sometimes even death. It's a condition that can't be corrected, and sadly, it can only be identified once the Asari reaches maturity. Once diagnosed, they're given a choice to live in isolation or face execution. And this is done because the condition itself is addictive, and Ardit Yakshi's strength increases every time they mate, so the compulsion eventually grows out of control. All 3 of Samara's children, Falere, Rila, and Marinth, are affected with a lethal version of the virus. While Falere and Rila opted for a life of peaceful seclusion, it was only Marinth who chose to embrace the condition and proceeded to carry out an addictive and murderous rampage against others. Samara must have felt total responsibility and guilt for Marinth's affliction. I mean, how would you feel if you discovered you passed down some awful succubus genes to your kid and all they wanted to do was murder, screw, and absorb the powers of others? You'd probably want to do all you could to make sure they didn't hurt anybody else. Because of the love she has for her children, the guilt she's plagued with, and her desire to protect the galaxy, Samara makes it her lifelong mission to track down Marinth and destroy her before she can bring harm to anyone else. That takes a lot of strength and dedication to take on the burden of having to murder your own flesh and blood in order to defend the innocent. Samara's strong morals and beliefs in what's wrong and what's right, and her not wanting Marinth to live a cold, meaningless life where power, sex, and destruction is the only means of survival, is part of the fuel that's kept her going in pursuit of her daughter for so many centuries. And there you have it. That was my top 5 list of badass moms in video games. Leave a comment below if you guys enjoyed the video, or leave a comment below if you guys want to let me know of any other badass moms you think could have potentially made this list. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I feel like it was a nice little thing to do post Mother's Day, or yeah, post Mother's Day. I don't know words. If you liked the video, leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell, because it's YouTube and it's really hard to find people's videos even though you're subscribed to them. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
He has the money from 1525 BC. He has the money. Protection from the bureaucracy. He has the money. They're hanging by the Treecko Bay. He has the money. Protectors of the world today. He has the money from 1525 BC. He has the money. Protection from the Pharaoh. He has the money. They're hanging by the Western Gate. He has the money. They're gonna take the world today.